what I would love is for you, if you're using a quick hitch, tell me what brand you're using, if you had to make any kind of modifications to your quick hitch or to your implements in order to make them work. Share with me what works and what doesn't, and if you see something that I ought to be doing differently, explain that in the comments, let me know. Well, hey there, hobby homesteaders, welcome back to Peak's Peak. Today, I'm back out here with the tractor and all of my implements because I wanna clear up some confusion about the whole quick hitch attachment and some things that you still need to do even if you have this quick hitch in order to start using your implements. I shared some modifications that had to be made to that quick hitch, and I think most people that viewed the long video understood all of that, but I made a short version of that and I shared it on Facebook, and I got lots and lots of negative comments because I think everybody, when they watch a little video like that, they assume that everybody else's implements or everybody else's machine is exactly the same as theirs. Everything's the same size, same measurements, and so the person making the video must just be an idiot. Now, that may be true, but I do understand how this works, and I also understand the differences and why I had some of the complications that I had. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, because if you have a subcompact tractor, especially the Kubota BX, you understand that they call it a Category 1 3-point hitch, but it's kind of a Category 1 or half, because it's not a complete full-size Category 1 3-point hitch setup. The measurements are not standard, so they're not the same as a compact tractor. And we may have to make some changes to our setup that people that own a little bit bigger tractor that they also love to rub in your face might not have to make. I have a subcompact tractor for a reason. I understand those reasons, and I also understand the differences. So I'm going to share with you some of those things. Now, I will tell you, I don't know everything there is to know about this, and a lot of what I learned comes from comments and people making suggestions. And so when you do that, I want you to know that I appreciate that. Appreciate you helping me learn and being patient with me when I do make mistakes, because I do. Sometimes I get it wrong. But in this instance, there are some things that I think if you own a subcompact tractor, you need to understand, especially if you're going to buy any of the generic Category 1/2 quick hitches that you can put on your tractor. So let's get into it and we'll show you what we got to do. One of the first things I want to point out here is that the bottom hooks on this quick hitch are a pretty good size hook. That hook is way bigger than the 3-point lift arm pins. And if you have a Speco quick hitch, they're made to actually cradle those exact 3-point pins. But on most of the other generic models, they have a lot bigger hook, which I think is made for Category 2 size or even a little bit larger. And like I said, they're all a little bit different. But the first thing we've got to do is, because like our box blade has regular 3-point lift arm pins, and we don't want all of that slop in there when we're using our implement, we're going to put some bushings on in order to take up that slack and tighten it up just a little bit. Now, they make bushings that are exactly for this, that go in between the two pieces of metal where the pin slides through for a box blade. But I don't have those. I didn't see them at Rural King. I actually had a couple of these old bushings that I got from Davis Equipment. They were throwaways that they had, and so they gave me these so that I can cut them the right size and put them on my box blade. So that's what we're going to do to take up that slack. Let me show you. So our hooks are going to grab right inside between these two arms right here. So we have to have a bushing on our pin in order to take up that slack. So we're gonna go cut this the right length to slide our pin through so that it's ready to go. Pay no attention to the other projects I've got going on all over my workbench here, because I have the leftovers of hooking up gas lines to put in my new furnace in my shop, and also my neighbor dropped off this torpedo heater that they can't get to run, and they asked me to see if I can get it going. So when I get finished with this, then I guess I'm working on a torpedo heater. But first, we're gonna cut this, and we're gonna try to cut it right there. Right. On your Category 1 3-point hitch, you have a top pin that's 3/4 inch, and then your 3-point lift arm pins are 7/8 inch. And that's standard, and that's what the Kubota BX uses. So when you have a quick hitch or quick attach, that is category 1/category 2, then you're at least going to need the bushings to take care of that. But I can tell you that the hooks on this quick hitch that we're using are even bigger. So that's what we got these bushings for. So we're going to put them on our box blade here. Got these bushings cut just right to fit that. Here's the thing that I think had everybody tore up. You have this bolt right here with this bushing on it, which is made for the top hook on those quick hitches. And this is quick hitch compatible, but I had a pin in the top of this, and everybody was saying, well, if you would have just used the top pin, then you wouldn't have had to drill a hole and relocate your hook. And they're probably right about that. I probably could have reconfigured this, maybe even taken this bolt and moved it up here to this hole. This is set up to work on a quick hitch just like this. And here's why I didn't do that to my box blade. What I didn't show in the short video was that I also have this rotary cutter, which is made to be hooked up to the quick hitch right here on this. And if and there's no way with this here that you could use the top pin as what you hook that hook to, because the hook would have to go in right here and this would be in the way. Now again, there is the possibility that I didn't try it, but maybe I could unbolt this and move this pivot point to up here at the top. And then it would have worked. But I'll just be honest with you, I was using a generic Vevor quick hitch, and I didn't feel like it was smart to go making alterations to an expensive Land Pride rotary cutter and Ironcraft box blade to match up with a generic Chinese-made quick hitch that had other issues as well. It only made sense to me to modify the quick hitch to fit what I already had here. Now, you can tell me how you do it and how that works for you, because maybe I'm missing something here, but this is what makes sense to me. And now, the way I've got this quick hitch set up, it's going to work just fine, and I didn't have to modify my implement. The next thing we're going to do in order to set this rotary cutter up to where we use it with this quick hitch all the time is we want to install these bushings. And I picked these up at Rural King. These are actually the exact same thing that I just cut in order to fit my Ironcraft box blade. And the reason that Davis Equipment had these on hand is because they were takeoffs from people using the other type of quick hitches and moving to a Land Pride style, one that is more compatible with all of the other styles. The way that these work is these go on your 7/8 inch 3-point arm pins, and then you drive this roll pin through where your linch pin or tractor clip fit before. And we'll put these on, and then these will not only fit tight in the hook on the quick hitch, but they also have this end which will keep it from sliding out, and you don't just have a little linch pin clip here that's going to get broken by the actual quick hitch. So we're going to put these on, drive these roll pins in, and then I'll show you how this all works. Okay guys, now here's the other important thing that I failed to mention in my last video, but everybody needs to know this before they go running a quick hitch on their rotary cutter. I marked the furthest out that this drive shaft pulls when I lower the rotary cutter all the way down. And we need to know how far out we can pull before this comes apart. And you can see I'm not quite apart, and I've got like a foot of overlap right here, so I'm good. But if your drive shaft was cut a little bit short and you don't have, at least I think it's 6 inches of overlap, then you don't have enough. And you either need to replace your drive shaft, or they make a PTO extension that you can put on your tractor that stays there, so it will actually add that few inches back. Because all you have to do is look at the way this is made, and you can see that you're moving your connection point out about 4 inches. Somebody commented that on my video, and I was aware of that, but I forgot to mention it, and I wanted to be sure that I covered that for anybody that might use one of these quick hitches. Okay, so now you can see that our bushings tighten up the connections right here to where there's not nearly as much slop inside the hook. We are down in place, this connects good, and we're right here on this hook. To release it, it's so simple. You can do it even from right on the tractor. So guys, while I was a little bit down on the modifications that I had to make for this quick attach, overall, I think it's something that we're going to put to use here. I have my implements set up to where they will work easily connecting to it now. You know, it's not like it's that difficult to hook your implements to a 3-point hitch, but as you get older, your back gets a little bit worse. You know, you have to come up with tricks to make things a little bit easier, and this is just one of those things. Makes it a little bit easier to hook your attachments to the back of your tractor, and I think I'm gonna like it. I think it's gonna come in real handy. So I just wanted to kind of do a follow-up video and explain some of the next steps that you need to make if you're going to use one of these quick hitches. Now, what I would love is for you, if you're using a quick hitch, tell me what brand you're using, if you had to make any kind of modifications to your quick hitch or to your implements in order to make them work. Share with me what works and what doesn't, and if you see something that I ought to be doing differently, explain that in the comments, let me know. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and we appreciate y'all watching. Y'all have a good day.